Hey everybody, what's up? Tim with Magnetic Moment number 9, titled Stop Overthinking Because It's Crushing You. And this is coming to us from the quote posted earlier in the week that said, overthinking is the #1 reason for unhappiness in the world. So if you've been held in bondage by overthinking and you've been a prisoner of your own mind, then what we're going to talk about today, I think you're going to find really, really helpful. Now, why do we overthink? Well, believe it or not, we overthink because, in essence, we are control freaks. We all want control. We like uncertainty, but we don't like too much uncertainty. And when too much uncertainty hits, we freak out. We want to try to figure out a way to shut it down and lock it down. And here's the way the human brain works. Whenever there is uncertainty, our mind wants to create structure. We want to create something that we can hold on to so that we feel like we can navigate through those passages of uncertainty. And typically that's done by overthinking. So we create this mental structure where no structure exists. And we make all these assumptions and all these insinuations that oftentimes aren't even true. And they're oftentimes negative. And that causes us to think about things and think about things and think about things because we're trying to create structure and we're trying to create control where none exists. That is the reason why many of us overthink. So how do you get out of the pattern of overthinking? Because it's obsessive and it can actually be debilitating where it totally takes your mind hostage. So I'm going to give you some instructions. I'm going to give you a short exercise that's going to demonstrate my point. I want you to follow the instructions and listen to them before you jump into this. So in your mind, I want you to start counting from 0 to 100 silently. And in the middle of your counting, I'm going to give you a specific instruction to follow. And when I do, I want you to follow it. So right now, in your mind, start counting from 1 to 100 silently. Now I want you to say your name out loud. So hopefully you did that. If not, I would encourage you to practice it. So the question is, when you said your name out loud, what happened to your thinking? Your thinking stopped. Isn't that interesting? Here's the way our brain works. When our mind is thinking and our mouth jumps in and has something to say, our mind has to stop and listen to what our mouth is saying. Let me say that again. When our mouth speaks, our mind stops to pay attention to what our mouth is saying. So the way to stop overthinking is to start talking. And you can start talking about anything. You can start talking about where you want to go. You can start doing your affirmations. You can say the Star-Spangled Banner. You can say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. You can start to sing Jingle Bells or 12 Days of Christmas or Happy Birthday or whatever. But once you get something in your mouth, your mind is going to stop. So when you start to go down the trail of overthinking and you start to think obsessively, start to talk to yourself out loud. Now, ideally, you're talking to yourself about the outcome, that everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to crush it. It's going to work out. I'm going to make a way where there seems to be no way. But it doesn't even need to be that. You can start to talk about anything you want to, but it's by putting those words in your mouth that your mind gets derailed and stops thinking. And then you're in a different state. And then it's important to replace those thoughts with where you want to go. And I would encourage you, if you struggle with overthinking, just start talking to yourself. And you might need to talk to yourself for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But if you talk to yourself out loud, it will stop your thinking and it will pull you out of that overthinking. And use overthinking as a trigger. Now, every time you start to overthink, start to talk to yourself out loud about the result that you want. And if you do, you're going to be able to break down those walls of overthinking that have held you prisoner and start to pull yourself out of it. Plus, you'll also be speaking the result and the desire, which is twice as powerful because now you're going where you want to go as opposed to thinking about where you don't want to go. So, that is a tip for today. To stop overthinking, start talking out loud. Talk the solution, not the problem. Talk where you want to go, not where you want to go. Talk anything. Just start to talk. And as you do, your mind will shut off. It will listen to what your mouth has to say, and you will break free of the prison of overthinking. Tim, with today's Magnetic Moment. Hope you found that helpful. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.